Welcome, everybody out there in the internet, to the milestone 50th anniversary episode of Sis and Big Pop's Culture. As always, I am Big Pop's Todd Turner, also known as Mosaic Fan Art.
And hi, sweet friends. I'm Hannah Jo, aka Sis, and together we're an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Every episode is family friendly.
That's right. The worst we might get is PG.
Oh, that's still families.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Family friendly.
Family friendly.
So, Hannah, give the lowdown. What do we do here
Yes.
on our golden anniversary?
Is that what 50th is?
Yeah, I think 25 is silver and gold is 50.
Okay, right on.
So, did you buy me a bar of gold?
No.
I've been searching for a bar of gold.
Did you buy me a bar of gold?
Well, I did, but now I'm taking it back. You didn't get me one. All right, Hannah, what do we do here?
So we are first up, we're going to talk about some nerd news. We're going to talk about what we've been watching over the past couple weeks, as well as Dad's pull list. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. We'll explain it when we get there. We're also going to talk about a comic book. We read a Darth Vader comic book, and we are going to rotten raspberry each other. We're going to spoil some stuff for Book of Boba Fett and Moonfall, the movie that just came out. So, but nerd news first, dear Papa.
Let's get into it. This from the breaking news desk.
Nerd news.
We sort of fell off there because there's not an awful lot of nerd news that I've got over the last week.
I only have three
little things. Well, first of all, I want to say, Hannah, you are correct. Knives Out is on Netflix.
I thought it was on
Netflix.
Okay, good.
So, and apparently, like in the next week or two, they're going to have a massive trailer to go over all their stuff. They're letting out. So, and
okay, cool.
Including the Pinocchio movie we talked about by Guillermo del Toro, which I think would be cool.
Awesome.
Voiced by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The teaser trailer of like the art style, I watched it after we talked about it, and it was really cool.
It was really cool. Stop action animation.
It looks really cool.
What about you?
Jason Momoa has signed a contract to be a part of Fast and the Furious 10.
Okay, I thought he might be. Why not?
And he might be the villain of the new.
And I bet you he's a relative of The Rock. What do you think? I mean, everybody, because it's all about family.
I love those movies so much. I'm crying. I love them.
But I like them too.
Only two more. Fast 11 is the last one in the franchise.
Like, who said that?
Vin Diesel? Yeah, it was written. It is known.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Money talks, baby. So
I'll watch him.
I'll
watch it. He'll be in one of those drive-in.
Oh, that'll be Fast and Furious in the little.
And I'll watch it.
Motorized wheelchairs.
I'll watch it.
Oh my gosh! They jumped the shark when they went to space last week. Last movie.
Last week they went to space.
They did. I was like, what? No,
it was awesome. They got stuck up there. It was funny.
No, it was not funny. It was.
It was.
Did you hear they're doing a new Proud Family movie? I
had heard that.
Yeah.
Man, I loved the Proud Family.
I do too. It's called Louder and Prouder. It's coming out February 23rd on Disney Plus. The Proud Family was awesome. So funny. And I can't wait to see what happens because the grandma cracked me up.
She's always asleep.
And the dad
she's
is
laying in
always
the chair
like
with
a
his
neurotic,
mouth
nervous
with her
mess.
mouth. Yeah, the dad, man. And those kids, they had the movie that came out. It was a DCOM Disney Channel original movie about like the Peanuts. Do you remember that movie?
No,
they went to this island and there were like peanut people there, and somebody called a yacht a yacht. It was funny.
No, I do not remember that.
I remember it.
Sounds good. I remember one of those wacky Disney. Maybe it was a Nickelodeon. Like Even Stevens, did they go to a deserted island or whatever? Or
gotcha on your own show.
Oh yeah, Yes, I loved that movie. It was
Man,
funny.
even Steven's movie. Is that Disney or is that Nick?
I think it's Nick. I don't know.
I
That's
don't know.
Shia LaBeouf.
No, it's
Shia
Disney because
LaBeoufy.
Kim Possible. Because the actress who played Shia LaBeouf's older sister was the
Sister
voice of Christy
of Kim
Carlson
Possible.
Romano. She's
Gotcha.
Kim Possible, and Kim Possible is Disney.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. Now a little bit of a history lesson. Um, so have you? I don't know if people realize, of course, that the Olympics are on.
Yes,
And
I've seen.
been watching.
That's so true. I watched some curling.
It's like every commercial is a Jurassic Park commercial.
I have
Do
not
we-
seen the commercial.
I mean, it's like a dinosaur. I almost said Godzilla, like chasing people down the mountain on ski. Not the dinosaurs are not on skis, but people are on skis. Are you excited for the Jurassic Park
Here's the
movie?
thing. I'm gonna watch it.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Jurassic
know.
Park
Jurassic Park Reborn. I don't know.
Fallen Universe. I don't know.
Fallen Galaxy.
Kingdom Gone or something. I don't know. I just thought that's been interesting because I've watched. It's like crazy how much, and it doesn't come out till June, and like every commercial on the flipping Olympics.
Okay.
Is,
Thor: Love and Thunder comes out in May, and we haven't even had a trailer for that yet.
really, and I guess this is Natalie Portman becomes Thor. Is that what we're thinking?
Is that what it
happens in this?
is?
I think so.
So
I mean,
watched
because in the comic book she was Thor, and actually she is been reintroduced into the pages of Thor of the last 5 or 6 issues. So you know how the comic books always throw people in there.
I watched something that was supposed to be a first look. I couldn't tell if it was a first look or if it was
Or
a fan
a
edit.
fan made. Yeah, if it's not off of Marvel Entertainment,
At
throw it
this
away.
point, I have no idea. But it had the little Disney logo on the bottom of every single shot.
Yeah, I can put the Disney logo on the bottom, and I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to hook up this internet thing, but I could put a Disney logo on a picture.
I just thought that was. I mean,
I'm for it.
I literally wrote Thor: Love and Thunder first look, DK if it's real, or a fan edit.
So there's not a whole lot of cool movies coming out that I'm really stoked for, except I saw a preview for a movie called After Yang, starring Colin Farrell, and it's sort of like in the future. It's sort of the Yang is like a early high school boy who you come to find out is artificial intelligence, and something happens to him. He just freezes. So the little girl, they have a little girl. Of course, we don't know if the little girl is biologic or if she is,
Yeah.
And I guess it's exploring humanity. And what do we do? Do we get another child to replace Yang because Yang's not working right or something? I don't know. Anyway, the reason I was intrigued is because I collected the comic book called Made in Korea, which was about a
Is it similar?
computer. Sorta. This was like it took place in the future where people couldn't have children. It was extremely rare to be able to have children. So there was people that made children, and very much like the movie AI, which I doubt you've seen. It's worth watching. It's a little bit weird, but it's worth watching. And anyway, what happens in that, the guy who created the little child that goes out to the United States hid a piece of code inside her because he needed to get it out of his work, because it was one of those deals like, if I create something at work, it belongs to work. So then he has to go and get this child, and it's a big exploration about humanity, who you are, based on like,
Cool.
it's a robot. Am I a boy? Am I a girl? Am I American? Am I Korean? Am I good? It was just a whole thing about a big exploration about all of that. And
That movie seems similar to the comic book.
this seems similar to that. I'm just interested to see where it goes. Yeah. What else
I'm
you got,
really
Nina?
excited to watch Death on the Nile.
I really want to watch it, but I want to fall asleep in the last. I know that's an old joke.
Dad,
Quit saying it. Quit
saying it.
I don't know. Would I watch it? I probably won't go see it, but if
We'll
it
go
comes out to a streaming service, I'll watch it. Yeah.
We're back on the Regal app. We got it fixed. And so
Gotcha.
Trev and I got it fixed. And so we're back to watching movies.
All right.
I'm thankful
you got
for
any
it.
more news?
Yes. Okay. There were new. I think this is hysterical. There were new Lord of the Rings Ring of Power posters that have
With
been
no
released.
frame of reference.
There's no frame of reference in any way, shape, or form. There's no faces to any of these people. It's literally, it just says
Like 22
LOTR
posters.
Rings of Power. And it is it's like the torso and like one or two hands, and each hand is holding something. An item. So it can be a
I made
scroll
those.
or
Remember? I told you that I could put a Disney thing on a poster, so I just did those and said they were LOT.
Oh, is that what you did?
Sent them out in the Twitterverse.
Yeah, did you decide to do that?
No, I mean, I don't understand the purpose of that.
To get people speculating and get people talking.
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
It worked because
Are
here
you
we
kidding?
are. I mean,
Well-
they didn't even pay us to do this, so if you would like to pay us to do this. Oh, I've got two bits of news, some good, some bad.
Okay. Well, I was reading, like, I've seen TikToks of people guessing who they are, of guessing, is this a dwarf or is this a this or
You
da da da.
and TikTok.
And I was also reading through this like blog post, and someone thinks one of the characters is Tom Bombadil, and I just had to tell you that this
Oh, I would
guy's
like that.
speculating that the hands that are holding the apple, there's one that's a person with like grime under his fingers holding an apple, and there was
Tom Bombadil
speculation
is
that
supposed to be
this
the
could be Tom
embodiment
Bombadil.
of, God type. So
I'm just
in
saying.
the apple.
I just wanted to let you know there's hope for Tom Bombadil, because that was one of your saddest bits, that Tom Bombadil
No,
wasn't
the
in
Tom
it.
Bombadil wasn't in there. I don't know how they could have done that anyway. So
They wouldn't have.
it'd have been a little bit weird.
It would very weird.
They put out a picture of Samuel L. Jackson. I guess they're doing a Secret Invasion. It's a Marvel miniseries that's going to come out on Disney Plus later this year called Secret Invasion, that follows Samuel L. Jackson right after the Captain Marvel movie. So the young Samuel L. Jackson, along with the Skrull.
Okay.
So, and they posted a picture of him. It said like, no scar, no patch, got to get my groove on or something like that. So I'm interested in that.
Cool.
The comic book, I didn't read it because it came out during my non-collecting phase. So, yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe it will be good.
BT Dubs.
Yes.
I was asked to be co-host of the Pull List podcast, the first Pull List podcast of 2022. So,
did you do it?
I already did it.
That's
Hector and
so
I recorded
cool.
it a couple days ago. Hopefully it worked. Neither one of us know how to do any of that kind of stuff. And it may have been a complete disaster, but that's all right.
That's really
so
exciting.
That was fun.
Congratulations.
I have to knock. The fundage for comic books is going down. So I have to choose 10 titles to get rid of.
Ooh.
So far, I've only picked 4.
Okay.
Here are 4 that have not made the cut.
Okay, what didn't? Oh, let's just jump to Pull List. We can go to binging in a minute.
You want to do that?
Oh, no, never mind. I'm lying to you.
We can do it.
Okay, yeah. We get to make we make the rules, Dad.
That's right.
So, did you know that?
A pull list is a list of comic books that you give your local comic provider, and they pull all those books from their inventory before they're put out on the shelf. Or you may be the only one collecting that. They make sure and get it in for you, because several of the books on my pull list are not books that they normally carry for people. And my pull list is extensive, and I have to cut it by a third.
10 books is a lot of books.
Maybe a fourth.
Dang.
So some of the books that are in my pull list
didn't make the cut.
4 that did not make the cut, and I'll have to come up with the other 6 by next week.
Uh-oh.
Robin. I'm going to be done with Robin.
Okay.
Green Lantern is just not keeping me.
Okay.
DC versus Vampires. The first couple issues were good, but it's.
I mean, yeah. So far these are all DC titles.
And Black Panther.
Okay, one Marvel title.
Marvel so far. Good thing is several of my books have stopped. Like just of the last couple, they have been miniseries and they have completed. So
yeah.
So what I do on our podcast is I review 7 books. I pick 2 independent, which are not Marvel or DC. So I choose 2 DC, 2 Marvel, and then I pick a book of the week, which could be from any of those. So my first book is an independent. and it is by Image Comics.
Yes.
I have talked about this book before. It's called Noctera, issue 7. Noctera follows a young girl who drives like a semi, who like carries people from one place to another. But what happened is when she was a little girl, something happened to the planet to where it became completely dark. And if people stay out in the dark too long without light, they turn into these creatures. They morph into these wacky creatures, never to come back. She ferries people from one outpost that's lit to another, and the villain is called Blacktop Tom, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, so this is a good place.
Blacktop Tom.
This is a good place to start if you want to start collecting, because it starts a new story arc.
Oh, perfect. So the story arc's about 6 an issue?
This was 6 issues, and this is starting a new one. And
right on.
Yeah, it has like her entire group are going to a Blacktop Bill is his name. Sorry,
Blacktop Bill.
And they find they're going to another place that's all lit up, but apparently something has happened, and the creatures that are in the outside have changed their modus operandi. So interesting. Yeah, I like that. I like it. It's by the same writer who did We Have Demons.
Oh, so, We Have Demons. Are they doing more of that, or is that just a 3 issue and then they're done?
That's it. They're done for now. I have a feeling they'll revisit it because they left it open. My first Marvel book is Amazing Spider-Man 88. Spider-Man's been going full steam. They're doing like 3 books a month, so that's a lot.
Man.
If I cut that out, that'd be like, but I'm not cutting it out. So this
you're enjoying that one.
I am enjoying this.
Fun.
This is following Spider-Man was in a fight with characters several issues ago, and he was critically injured, and he has been in the hospital. And there's been someone else, the clone of Spider-Man, which was introduced back in the 90s. Ben Reilly has been taken over for is Spider-Man, because he was Spider-Man anyway. And in this issue, the evil we know they're an evil corporation that is behind Ben Reilly's Spider-Man. They're called the Beyond Corporation, has mutated his therapist and into a villain.
That's not good.
Their deal was they can create superheroes, but they can also create supervillains. And it's the Queen Goblin. So it's like the Green Goblin, but it's the Queen Goblin. And how would you like it if your villain now knows all of your deepest, darkest secrets that you've told people?
No.
I know. So
that's awful.
She was made a villain against her will.
Oh.
And so they introduced Queen Goblin in this issue, and it's been really good. I'm really impressed with the Spider-Man book lately. So my first DC book is Batman Detective Comics 1051. I've hit on this just about every week because this is the first time in a long time that Detective Comics has been worth reading, I think. This is truly a detective comic book, and it follows
1041.
1051. 1051. So this is we talked about it before, Arkham Tower in the middle of Gotham City, because Arkham Asylum, we don't want to call it asylum. We don't want to put people with mental issues in an asylum. So, but a tower in the middle of Gotham is not the smartest idea either. Anyway, so all the villains that are there have been happy and just so chill. And we thought it was a drug they were using on them or whatever. We come to find out in this issue that it's not really a drug at all. It is a villain called the Psycho Pirate.
Right on. Psycho Pirate.
First time I ever was introduced to the Psycho Pirate was back in the 80s during it was called the Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Psycho Pirate has the ability to change people's emotions. So usually he changes like 1 or 2 people, but they've got him changing everyone in this tower. And during this issue, he like just falls apart and stops. And all these villains just go psycho at one time. Anyway.
Not good.
Then he gets
the
back a hold of
opposite of good.
And also, I've talked about this before, about how the Batman books have like a backup story in them. And this one has one called The House of Gotham, and it follows this little boy. We had talked about it before, who was traumatized between a fight between the Joker and Batman. You come to find out that the orphanage where he's been staying has been run by the Scarecrow. But the Scarecrow likes him and sort of takes him in under his wing. Something happens and he has to leave, and he gets adopted by the Penguin. So this kid is going from one villain
to the next. That is not good.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's great. I just am dying to know where this poor kid ends up, honestly. I mean, is he going to be good? Is he going to be bad? Is he going to be,
Perhaps he's just going to be a person.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. He will be a person. Right.
Dad, no. No, Hannah, no.
My next DC book is called The Human Target. This is book 4. This is follows a guy called the Human Target. It used to be a TV show, honestly.
Cool.
The Human Target would pose as someone else. They would be killed or attempted to be killed. And then the Human Target doesn't die, but then that person finds out who it was that wanted to kill him. He actually becomes the Human Target. So in the first issue, he became Lex Luthor.
Ooh,
and
yuck.
someone tried to kill Lex Luthor, and they didn't. So he survived, but then he comes to find out that actually they succeeded because they gave him a poison that's going to kill him in 12 days. So he's now trying to find out who killed Lex Luthor. And he believes it's someone who was part of the Justice League International, which was a Justice League that was put out in the early 90s. And it's like the characters in that are not as well-known characters.
Okay.
Booster Gold, Blue Beetle.
Those are the ones you like.
Fire and Ice, Rocket Red, which was a Russian character, Batman, Martian Manhunter, maybe Mr. Miracle. I can't remember. But so this book is gorgeous to look at, and it just reads so good. And in this issue, he's pretty much interrogating the Blue Beetle, and the Blue Beetle is like, I didn't do it. But of course, somebody who didn't do it would say he didn't do it. I guess I do want to do it. I could do it if I did do it, and this is how I would do it. But by me telling you I did it, I mean, it was sort of like that. The conversation that goes between Wesley and Vincini about the iocane,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Sicilian. When death
over
is
there!
on the line. My last independent is issue 4 of Chicken Devil.
What?
Aftershock. So Chicken Devil is and actually this is the final issue for now.
Okay.
So 1 through 4, so you could probably get them collected. This is about
so you
a guy.
This is one that's going to be off your pull list then.
It is. It's done.
So that's 5.
So there you go. Well, but yeah. So Chicken Devil followed these 2 guys who created a hot chicken chain. But the one guy finds out that his partner had been laundering money for the mob.
Oh, no.
So his partner gets killed, and they want all their money back or some type of sauce. I don't know. He's running this sauce. And so what happens is he's like, I got to get my family out of here. And they get away to get his family out. And then his family is on this boat, and it blows up. So he thinks his family, well, surprise, they're not dead. They got off the boat.
Good.
And they've got all this money. But between these issues, he puts on the chicken mascot, like to go put money back. And what happened?
He gets stuck in the costume or something.
One of the mob guys comes after him, trips, falls, shoots himself in the head. So now they think the guy in the chicken costume actually killed the guy when in fact
he didn't.
He did absolutely nothing.
Oh, man.
So,
you don't mess around with organized crime.
And here's the deal. 2 cops, a man and a woman, have been following him around. They've been really cool the whole time. Well, at the end of this book, the mob is coming for this guy. But what happens is the Chicken Devil blows them all away. And you come to find out that the 2 cops put on chicken costumes. And they're like, we like what you've been doing. So we thought we'd help you out. So this is nowhere near done, but that's how it ends.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
that's funny. Okay, so not this one then.
What? What do you mean?
Not that one being taken off your pull list.
It is off because it's done for right now. It's Aftershock. They usually only do 4 to 5 issue comics. I doubt there'll be another one for any time soon, but
Cool.
this I was going to pull off, but the book is so good. This is Alien, issue 9.
Marvel?
Yes, it's by Marvel.
Oh, yeah, because they own Disney owns it.
Has the rights, correct. This is fantastic.
Issue 9.
This is the second story arc, like the midway through the second story arc. And it's an agrarian group left for religious freedom. But what's happened is, of course, the bad guys put a alien down there and it follows them around. And,
dun, dun.
Yeah, the art is so good. The story is good. It has a lot to do with religion and science and freedom of speech and everything.
Cool.
So it's interesting how they weave all that. Yeah. All right. So you ready for my
book of the week? It's a book of the week.
This book was not on my pull list, which is why I can't count Chicken Devil coming off because this one's going on.
Okay, what is it?
This is called Monkey Prince, issue 1 by DC. This is by Jean Lun Yang, who did The Hoops.
Oh, yes. The Hoops graphic novel that we read. Dragon Hoops.
What was it called? Dragon Hoops. Yeah.
That was good.
This is like if you ever seen them like pop up on Netflix or Amazon, the like I don't know if they're a Korean movie or if they're Chinese movie, like the Monkey King or anything like that. It is a type of during the Chinese lore. There's this Monkey King. He has powers and all that kind of stuff. Well, this is the Monkey Prince. This kid comes up with these powers.
Prince. Prints. Like
No,
this guy's printing monkey.
No, he ain't printing monkeys. But
Monkey Prince, as in like
guy,
the son of a king.
Yes. The good thing about this is it feels a lot like early Spider-Man type stuff.
Oh,
like
fun.
He's in high school. He's the kids are mean to him or whatever. He moves around a lot with his parents. His parents love him, but it opens up and Batman has busted into his mom and dad's after they're like, you got to go to bed. And they're like being great parents. Batman busts into their house and he's like, tell your boss this is over. And then he walks out and he goes, you have a child here or whatever. And then Batman leaves. So you come to find out that his mom and dad are like, they're henchmen, basically. Like they're like scientists that are hired by like villains.
Oh, nuts.
Yes.
Henchmen for hire.
Pretty much henchmen for hire.
Dang.
And
that'd be a cool comic book.
They love,
That Henchmen for Hire would be a pretty sick comic book.
That would be. Yeah. Henchmen for hire. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I mean, yeah, the kids.
He's really good at writing family stories.
Okay. Can I tell you what happens?
Yes.
He ends up trying to help do things or whatever. He turns into this Monkey Prince and Batman and Robin show up. And at the end, Batman throws like a batarang at him and it cuts off his head. And his head is talking. He's like, what is even happening right now? So his head is detached.
Oh, no.
It's funny because Batman tells Damian, Robin, not a minimum necessary violence. He says minimum necessary violence. And then he
throws a batarang at this kid and chops his head off. And then Robin's
like, minimum necessary violence, Batman? I was aiming for the stick. And there's this, then his head's laying there and he says, what is even happening right now? And then the little thought bubble says, God, I hate Batman. So
that's awesome.
So fun. Yeah.
That's fun.
That's my pull list.
Oh, I love
Monkey Prince. I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And this character was introduced last year during we've talked about this before. Marvel and DC, they seem to do like a book spotlighting like different ethnic groups or different marginalized groups. And this was spotlighted last year in the Asian characters.
Cool.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
it
so
for my
fun.
pull list. Hannah.
Yes.
What are you binging?
Okay,
what are you
so
watching
many.
on the tube?
I'm so excited that you asked because I have a list of things to tell you about.
Go.
Okay,
Go.
so Trev and I started watching Daredevil again. We had watched like the first episode, 2 episodes, and he like really liked it. And then we like did some traveling and then Christmas and like all this stuff.
Christmas and right.
And so we finally started watching it again. Before that, before we watched Daredevil, we both watched Hawkeye so that we could talk about it on the podcast. And so we watched Hawkeye, and Fisk is introduced in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, I think, on the podcast, or at least we talked about this in real life, that there's no way in heck Kate would have been able to
live
through the shenanigan, like the fight with Fisk.
Yeah.
And like, so we got to the scene where Fisk is interrupted on his date. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, is that where he might get somebody's head in the door?
Yeah. And Trevin,
did you not go, oh my God?
I've seen it before. I've seen the first season all the way through. Trevin hasn't seen Daredevil at all. And he was like, and we're supposed to believe that little girl lived through her fight with him. Like, and I hadn't even talked to him about us being like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, I'm so mad that he got introduced to Fisk first in Hawkeye because he's such a bad mamma jamma in
I think
Daredevil.
You got to tone him down a little bit for the Marvel, for Disney Plus.
Yeah, 110%. 110%. So we got, and really, we're both really enjoying Daredevil. It's fun to go back and watch it again.
Gotcha.
Watched the first couple episodes of Peacemaker.
I told you.
Crazy pants, man. What the heck's a butterfly?
Well, you find out. It gets off the rails, and it gets darker and darker and sadder the more you go. I'm caught up completely. It is raunchy.
Yes, man, it's for grown-ups.
This is not for kids. Don't even have it on your device if a child is there around.
But yeah, and so we are watching.
You sort of feel for him though.
I mean,
don't you feel for Peacemaker? Like
his dad, the heck,
a butt nugget. Yeah,
his dad is
straight up racist.
Yeah, like and he's like worshipped in jail. Like if you're not the place to like
the white dragon.
I don't, man, gross.
Yeah,
gross.
Anyway,
I watched season 2 of Cheer, which is a Netflix documentary about this junior college.
About the TV show Cheers?
No, about this junior college, Navarro in Corsicana, Texas. It was released at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. It was released, and it got to be really, really big. And it was really cool. Like, so they followed season 2. Season 2 followed them after, like, the fame and everything like that. And some, like...
What is this rated?
It's MA.
Okay,
and
so kids can't watch this.
I wouldn't. I mean, like, late high school, maybe. The thing that I really appreciated about it is that there was... like some bad stuff that happened to one of the people. Like he's in jail now and he's going to be in jail for a long time.
Gotcha. Sort of like the University of Michigan guy with the Olympics and the gymnastic team.
Yeah. And like, that's not why they did this thing. Like it just happened while they were filming. Gotcha. And they handled that, I think, very well. I was impressed by the way that they handled it and how they talked about it. Like it was very serious, and they for sure give like trigger warnings. So if that's something so like when that episode pops up, you'll be able to know. But I appreciated that about it because I was very curious going in. I'm like, how are they going to handle this? And if like from the very first episode, it was like we're not gonna beat around the bush. We're just gonna
tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is, which I appreciated.
Okay.
A kids show I watched is called We Bare Bears.
Okay, is this the one where there's like 3 bears?
Yeah.
So this has been advertised multiple times during the Olympics too. Is it on Paramount Plus?
Is it on Paramount Plus? I don't know. It was on Cartoon Network. And so I watched it on Hulu.
Oh, maybe that's how I could watch it then.
We Bare Bears.
Looks funny.
It's cartoons. It's a cartoon. And there's Grizz, Panda, and Ice Bear.
Yeah, I've seen and the advertisement on during the Olympics is they got thrown out of their house. They have to find a new house.
Oh no, they got thrown out of the cave.
I don't know. It looks like that. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
It's like it has 3 seasons and it's on Hulu. Trev was like,
Nice.
Hannah, you're gonna love this. And
I just don't like sitting and
did.
watching through all the daggone commercials.
We Bear Bears.
I tried to start going back and watching My Hero Academia, and I just can't do it. The commercials kill me.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to watch commercials about, weird
Salsa?
things. Whatever. I like salsa. Anyway,
So
what else?
that was really funny. Okay, last thing. Netflix
Holy
has
cow.
this new show.
Have you gotten anything accomplished other than watching TV?
Excuse you. It's been 2 weeks since we've done this.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Okay.
And I've only watched 2 episodes of Peacemaker and 2 episodes of Daredevil.
All right, good.
So
Okay, keep going.
I haven't okay. I watched 1 episode of this new TV show called Murderville, and it is on Netflix. Have you seen this
Yes.
advertised?
I've seen it advertised.
Dad, this is hysterical. So it's Will Arnett, and he is like Terry. His character is like Terry, and he's a detective. And it is a scripted show, but they bring in a comedian, and
no.
the comedian doesn't know what's happening.
I've got to watch it.
Has to figure out
That is
what's
so good. It's
has
like
to figure out
whose line is it anyway? Sort of.
But it's so it's a scripted show, and every episode is a murder mystery.
Murder mystery. Oh gosh,
And they
watch that then.
and they have him in like this trainee vest with like a little notebook and a pen, and then they're like writing.
Nice.
And the
Write
first
stuff
episode
down.
was Conan O'Brien, and it was
yeah.
it was it was just so good. It was so funny.
I watched the first episode of Murders Only Happen in this hotel or something.
Oh, I don't know that.
It's something. It has Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin
No,
Short.
it's not murders. It's not murders only happen in this hotel. But I know what you're
Anyway,
talking.
so I started watching it. I thought it would be good, but they say the F word so many times.
It curses a lot.
I'm like, I don't know. It gets me. Yeah.
But Murderville, I mean, it's also like adulty. So like, don't go watching this with your kiddos. But man, it was funny. It was funny. And Conan O'Brien just and they tell him to do stuff, and he like has to do what they tell him to do. And so he's like eating this sloppy Joe while he's interviewing this person, and this guy keeps pouring hot sauce on his sloppy Joe.
I like hot sauce. This sounds like a show for me.
And he's like he's like dying because he's having to like ask questions to the suspect, and she's like, "You gotta hurry up. Do you not like your sloppy Joe?"
Gosh. Okay, well that sounds funny.
It's really
I'm gonna have to watch it. It's on what is it on?
It's on
again?
Netflix.
Okay, Netflix. Murderville.
And then that guy, his name I can't. Alexis, the girl who plays Alexis Rose is in it.
I don't know from what show.
From Schitt's Creek.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that.
Shoot, Murderville.
It's okay. They can look it up.
They're just so funny. Okay.
Is it
Who are the
Eugene
special
Levy?
guests?
He's on there all the time. Well,
Man,
that's
I'm
something
trying
that we
to
can
find
look
out
up
the
later.
different people because they were so funny.
How many episodes have you watched?
I've only watched 1. Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch, Kumal.
Oh yeah.
Annie Murphy, Sharon Stone.
Oh gosh, Sharon Stone.
Ken Jeong it's just funny.
Okay, well,
It's just really
sounds like a pretty
funny.
good ensemble cast.
Well, each one those are the celebrity guest stars. And so
gotcha.
Each celebrity guest has their own episode. So there's 6 or 7. There's
I thought
only
you said
6
you
or
only
7
watched-
episodes.
Okay, but you only watched 1.
Yeah, I only watched
Gotcha.
Conan O'Brien's episode.
Okay, I thought you were saying all those people were in the
No,
same episode you
each
watched.
person is the one, and so
Gotcha.
the episodes are Conan O'Brien.
Gotcha.
Like, that's what it's really funny. I think you'd like it.
All right.
Okay.
I went back and I've been watching some Marvel movies. I've had them on in the background while I've been working on my mosaics.
What have you watched?
Endgame, not Endgame, the Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also gone back and I am rewatching Station 11 on HBO Max.
Man, I've only watched 2 episodes.
I love it. And now since I've watched the whole thing, it's easier for me to watch. And when I go back and watch it a second time, I can see things I didn't see before. The whole importance of Hamlet. There's even more interaction. There's more interweaving of relationships that happened that I didn't realize when I watched it the first time. Because I watch a show like you watch a show, and if I get nervous, I just turn it off.
See, man, I forgot to tell you, we watched My Cousin Vinny. Have you seen that?
No, but that movie, that's Joe Pesci won an Oscar for that movie.
That movie stressed me out.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to be a comedy. I'm supposed to be sitting there laughing, and I'm like, these two young guys who didn't do anything are going to end up in jail. And I just like, I can't watch it.
Ditto.
I would
That's
just
the
get
whole
up
entire thing with that Meet the Fockers. No, the movie would never happen. I would just leave.
I just kept figuring out reasons to get up and walk around my house.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Like,
That's
I
how
can't
we
do
watch
it.
movies, folks. But Station 11 is on HBO Max. It is for adults. And I love that it is based around this
family
graphic novel that this young lady created by herself. And it follows this young girl and the interweavings between this girl, the person that protects her at the beginning of the outbreak, and how she creates a family with this traveling symphony. And yeah, it is so good. And it does have a good ending. So if you got to make it to the end, because parts of it are like, oh my gosh, something happens in it where you think that the villain is really a villain, but then you come to find out that he didn't do it after all. But anyway. Yeah,
that guy, though, I got through the second episode.
The creepy guy?
Creepy guy. Woo! He creepy.
He ain't dead.
No! Dad, no!
Yep.
Oh, creepy guy.
Anyway,
creepy guy lives.
he's like part of the star of the show.
I don't like him. He's creepy.
You will like him at the end.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sounding pathetic talking about it, but I just
you sound like you think he's creepy, but he's not. He's so not
creepy.
Really creepy after you end up watching the whole show.
Okay, whatever. I still think he's creepy.
All right. What do you want to do, Hannah? What do you want to talk about?
Do you want to do comic, or do you want to do Rotten Raspberry, or do you want a Rotten Raspberry comic, Rotten Raspberry?
Let's do that. Why don't you, Hannah? We're gonna spoil Moonfall.
Yes.
Which,
so Rotten Raspberry. What is Rotten Raspberry, Dad?
Well, we said that's what your mom said. What is rotten raspberry? I said, well, you know how when you spoil something for somebody, they say it's a spoiling. Well, nothing is worse than getting a raspberry, which is. But if you ever buy raspberries from the store and there's one rotten one in it, they're like,
and you got to throw all of the raspberries away.
And they're like $5.
Those are expensive. When you get a rotten raspberry, it is a disappointment.
No kidding. And sometimes they hide. You look at them, you're like, hey.
And you're like, I did it. I found some without one. And then you open it and it's like in the bottom left-hand corner.
I got
half
a thing
of them
of
are
blackberries
gross.
like that. And I took them back.
You did not.
Kroger. I did. I said, I just bought these. Here's my receipt. I want to. And they goes, oh, we're so sorry. But it wasn't rotten raspberry. It was rotten blackberry.
Ugh,
so Hannah is going to talk about the movie Moonfall.
I'm going to spoil it.
Which is directed by Roland Emmerich, which, by the way, just came out this past week talking about how the Marvel and DC movies have destroyed the film industry because of their formulaic movies and how it all has to fit a certain way. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is coming from the guy who destroys the world every time.
Every single time.
I mean, every time. That's all his movies are. How in the world can he sit and gripe about? Anyway, Hannah, Moonfall.
Okay, so Moonfall.
What rated is it? PG-13?
Is PG-13.
Okay.
It's PG-13.
Available only in cinemas currently.
It is, like Dad said, a science disaster film. And it's...
Science disaster film. I like how you categorize that as science.
It's science. It's a science disaster film. So what happens is we open up and the main guy, Brian, is an astronaut. And he's
the guy that plays the owl in the Watchmen movie, correct?
I don't know.
He's also Ocean Master in the Aquaman movies.
Patrick Wilson?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he is, his name is Brian. He's an astronaut. He's up in space with Halle Berry and another guy, random guy.
Yeah.
These nanites, this cloud of like nanites, like little tiny robots, come and attack while they're doing like routine fix-it stuff. And the electricity goes off in the space shuttle, and then the other astronaut gets blown away, and the nanites land on the moon, and then Halle Berry and Brian, the astronaut, have to go back to Earth. And they get back to Earth, and NASA's like, it's your fault that the mission didn't work. And he's like, yo, we had nanites that attacked us. They landed on this crater in the moon. And they're like, no, you're a liar. And then
No, you're a liar. Come on, straight down to it. Isn't like the moon just a machine?
The moon is a machine.
That's what I thought.
The moon is the machine.
That's not a moon. It's a Death Star. All along, it's a Death Star.
So there's this guy who's a conspiracy theorist, Dr. Casey Houseman, and he believes that the moon is a megastructure.
It is.
And it is. In this movie, the moon is a megastructure. So it like jumps 11 years in the future. This guy.
So it takes that long. So
it takes because the nanites are going through the whole of the moon. It takes the nanites 11 years to get to
the center of the
to get to the center of the megastructure.
A 3. How many licks does it take to get to the center?
To get to the center of the megastructure.
Gotcha.
And so the moon starts coming closer to Earth, and then they figure it out. And Dr. Casey Houseman is like, yo, I know that the orbit is off. And nobody, like, he tries to get a hold of NASA, and he gets a hold of Brian because Brian lives in LA. And there's like a family component, like him and his wife get a divorce because
Do they end up back together?
No, I mean, man, I was talking to Trevin about this. I always feel like the stepdad dies in these movies.
Did he die? Did stepdad die?
Yeah.
See, yeah, that's a bummer because usually they're good people.
Because they're good guys. Like,
yeah,
why? He dies because
Roland Emmerich. That's what he does. That's what happens. If you don't like Marvel movies or DC movies, you kill the stepdad. I don't know.
And because the stepdad in 2012, he was
a good guy. He flew the plane.
He flew the plane. And then the stepdad in this one is the funny guy from Ant-Man.
Wait,
I don't know.
Michael Pena?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The guy, hey, he should have been up there flying because he flew the spaceship in The Martian.
Anyways, so what ends up happening is the moon is coming closer and closer to Earth. His son, Brian's son, had just gotten arrested and so is in prison. And so so he is like, I'll help you if you get my son out of jail because he's going to die in jail if you don't get him out. Gotcha. And
but before he does that, he has to participate in a science Olympiad in New York.
These are all the same.
On the 4th of July.
These are
to get into the super secret ark.
No, stop it. No.
While the White House is on fire.
No. So they do go. So Halle Berry also has a son, and she has a foreign exchange student. And so Brian's son, Halle Berry's son, and the foreign exchange student are driving to Aspen so that they can stay there. But that's also because that's where their secret base is. It's in Colorado because you need to be up high because of all the
tidal waves.
Because the tidal waves. And so they go up to the moon and they have an EMP, but what they learn is that for the nanites to attack, you have to have electronic and bio, like a human being.
So somebody has to stay behind.
But what they go into the moon because they're like, hey, we're going to have to do this inside the moon. And so they go into the moon and then they find that the moon is a megastructure.
Gotcha.
It isn't until
run by an alien from it's
the aliens Will are Smith. Us.
What?
The aliens are the ancestors of humanity.
Oh, are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh my gosh.
And so they have
from the future?
No, from the past.
Okay.
The ancestors.
Gotcha.
Ancestors is past. And so
It's
It
the
felt
Eternals.
very okay. So that movie, the old movie where there's a group of astronauts that go to Mars, and there's this structure that's there that's like pinging, and it actually is like the DNA of humans, and you have to like put in the DNA of humans.
Oh
to
yeah,
let
yeah.
in.
Red Planet, I think, is the name of that.
Yeah.
Movie. Oh,
It
that
felt
was
like
a good movie.
It felt like that.
I liked that movie.
That's a good. I might watch. That was a good movie.
I think that's what it was called, Red Planet.
Brian is like talking to like Brian like learns about like what happened, and the nanites are actually the AI of this planet of like our forefathers.
Gotcha.
And they kill everyone. And so what the forefathers do is they go to this edge of the galaxy to like create the megastructures.
Oh, the megastructure.
To create the megastructures that hold a dwarf star.
Okay.
Which is what's powering the megastructure.
Powering it. Gotcha.
So that they can create more life.
Gotcha.
Because the nanites are killing everything.
So the nanites are the bad people.
Or the nanites are the bad people. And so the megastructure like tries to protect the because the megastructure wants the humans to live, because that's the point of it. It has like artificial consciousness or whatever.
Okay.
And the nanites are trying to kill everybody, and Dr. Casey Houseman ends up staying back. And
to save the world.
And saves the world so that Brian can go.
And then nobody believes him.
Well, no, I mean, they get. And throughout all of this, they're like, we're gonna blow up the moon. Like the government.
You can't blow up the moon.
Government people are like, we're gonna send nuclear bombs to the moon, and everyone's like, no, that's so dumb.
Yeah,
and there's another plot where the three kids, where the three kids end up getting to Brian's ex-wife and the stepdad, and then they have this idea because the atmosphere. There's like less oxygen because the moon's coming, but you have to be high because the tidal waves, but you can't be too high because there's no oxygen. And so they like get oxygen tanks from the fire department in Aspen.
Well, those are going to last a long time.
They didn't, which is why the stepdad died, because he gives it to his daughter so that she can make it to the cave.
Here's the deal. I'll watch it.
It was really good.
I'll 100%
but it
watch
ends,
it.
How it ends is Casey Houseman's consciousness has been uploaded to the megastructure.
Into the megastructure. Oh, and that's great.
And the megastructure's like, we got a lot of work to do.
I love it.
And then that's how it ends. And he's like, am I here? So it felt like
every movie he's ever made.
Every movie that is in like one big one.
Okay, gotcha.
And ever since then, I'm like, the moon. And so we got out of the movie theater and I was like, Trevin, the moon.
That's not a moon. Oh, God.
The moon is a megastructure. Dr. Casey Houseman. And at the very end, he goes, I'm not actually a doctor. I just thought it sounded good.
Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah, well, you make up your own thing. I get it.
Funny.
So I've seen every episode out of Boba Fett.
Okay.
The Book of Boba Fett. That is TV 14 on Disney Plus. And we're going to spoil a little bit about this. I've already spoiled a little bit to Hannah.
Because we talk about it.
The first couple episodes are straight up Boba Fett, the history of Boba, how he ends up where he is. The last two episodes, Boba Fett has probably only been in for 30 seconds.
Why did they do that?
It's phenomenal. Not the last episode, but the episode before, it follows the Mandalorian. And he has the dark saber, and he can't even lift it. You find out that there's something having to do with your willing to accept the saber to even be able to use the saber.
And he didn't want it.
One of the Mandalorians there, you can only
use it if you've like defeated someone in battle.
So another Mandalorian challenges him to battle. So Mando, of course, wins.
I was going to say,
Mando wins.
Like, of course he does.
And while he's there, the armor person, the lady who does the armor, takes his Beskar spear, because you're not allowed to use Beskar as a weapon. It can only be a protectant.
Okay, is that the sect of his cult, or is that like an actual law?
That's what his people believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you learn in that he's like part of a
different sect.
A different sect. And it's
Correct.
more like
very strict in what they can do and cannot do. Mm-hmm. And actually, so she melts this down and he asks her to make something for a foundling,
Grogu,
which
Baby
is
Yoda.
what they call young or baby Mandalorians. So she makes something, ties it in a little bag, and he wants to be reinstated as a Mandalorian, but in order to do that, he has to go to their planet and do something because he showed his face in order to be reinstated. Because she asks, did you show your face to anyone? He goes, yes, I did. And she goes, you can't be a Mandalorian until you do this. So what he ends up doing is he goes back to Tatooine. And while on Tatooine, he goes to the lady who helped babysit Grogu at the beginning, and she makes him a new ship. He wants like his old ship, the Razor Crest, but instead she repurposes an old Naboo fighter, which is belonged to Padme. So she is juiced up Padme's spaceship and actually doesn't even have a spot for a droid. She took out that because she knows he doesn't like droids. So
right on.
So
The
at
nurse,
the end
the
of
nurse
that,
droid.
the nurse droid.
He likes the nurse droid.
At the end of that, he is contacted by Finnick, which is Ming-Na Wen's character, and she says, Boba's looking for some muscle. We have a job for you. It pays well. And he goes, I'll do this one for free, but first I have to go deliver something. So the last episode, bless you, Hannah Jo.
I'm sorry,
Bless
Daddy.
you.
Excuse me.
In this last episode, he goes to the planet where Luke Skywalker is there training Grogu.
No.
It is so cute.
Is
like
he so
they're
small?
sitting because he's so small.
He's
And he's like Grogu's just sitting there, and Luke is sitting across, and they're like supposed to be concentrating, and Grogu sees a frog, and you're like, oh no. So the frog starts floating, and you watch this frog float, and as it starts going down, and Grogu's got his mouth wide open, and this frog is going down into his mouth. And Luke is like, Grogu, and then the frog drops, and then it's Luke Skywalker. I mean, and all of a sudden Luke like concentrates, and 20 frogs start floating up out of the bog. And then he lets them down, trying to explain to him.
Focus.
Yeah. And then, of course, you know how Grogu can barely walk or anything like that.
He just kind of waddles.
Right. So he said, when Luke Skywalker first learned how to use his lightsaber, Obi-Wan Kenobi had that little ball that would zap him, float around and zap him. He has a training thing. And he goes, you need to jump to get out of its way. And like it zaps him and he just falls over. And then it shoots at him again. And he like does a flip and lands on a rock. And then he's bouncing, jumping back and forth on these. It was awesome.
Because Yoda does that in the prequels. Yoda goes,
yes.
bong, bong.
During all of this, R2-D2 takes Mando and has him wait. And as Mando is waiting and for a long time because he wants to see Grogu to give him this thing, Ahsoka Tano shows up. And she's like, you don't need to go see him. It's hard enough. The bond that he has with you, this is not good. And he goes, but I have something to give to him that is for the foundling. And she's like, well, maybe he doesn't want to be a Mandalorian. I mean, he's going to be training to be a Jedi. And he's like, I need to go see him. I want to go see him. And so eventually she talks him into not seeing Grogu, but he leaves her with like it looks literally like Bilbo's mithril shirt. It is armor made from Beskar that just would fit Grogu. It is like chain link. It's like chain link. It is the cutest thing. So baby. She goes, I'll make sure he gets it. So at the end, two things happen. First thing that happens with Grogu is Luke is talking to Grogu and says, I know that your connection with Mando is strong, but you have to make a decision. He says, he puts down a lightsaber and says, this belonged to my master, Yoda. And then he lays down the chain link and he goes, and this is from Mando. You have to choose. Which one are you going to,
is he
what
old
path
enough?
are you going to follow? What path? He's like 100, 700 years old. I don't
I
know
know,
how old
but
he
their
is, but
ages are different. He's
I
a
know.
baby.
So he's basically that's how that part ended. Okay. Go back to Tatooine.
The finale hasn't happened yet, has it?
No. Go back to Tatooine, and Boba Fett asks Timothy Oliphant, the guy who wore Boba Fett's armor. Remember? Mando gets the armor from this guy.
Yeah.
He's like the marshal of that area. He says, I need you to help me stop the Pikes, which is the group that's running like spice. They call it spice. It's like drugs, I assume, or I don't know what it is, but it's something they shouldn't be running. And I want you and your people to help me. And he goes, my people have fought enough. We don't want to fight. And he goes, if you don't, so, this is what's going to happen. He goes, I'll pay you and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so then he decides, yes, we'll fight with you. So he sends a guy, go get all the townspeople together, and we're going to talk about this. In the meantime, a character appears like the Wild West. Oh, and Timothy Oliphant's character sends everybody inside. And it is a character from the Clone Wars animation called Cad Bane, who's like a bounty hunter, like a vicious bounty hunter.
Is he there for...
he's like, basically it's a...
Bad Mama Jamma.
So what happens is, if I'm not mistaken, and there are probably people, I'm sure they'll correct me if they actually listen. The dent in Boba Fett's helmet was caused by a fight with Cad Bane.
Cool. So
this character shoots and kills Timothy Oliphant's character. We think. It ends with him getting shot.
Is that the end?
By this character. And that's how that episode ended. So, but they introduced this terrible bounty hunter who's like the guy, a gun for hire, basically, whoever pays him the best.
Henchman for hire.
Yeah. And from the animated series, another character from the animated series that everybody was like, oh my gosh. Huh?
Another one.
So that's what I got.
Crazy.
I think we should just not do the Darth Vader comic.
You don't think so?
I mean, we've been going for an hour.
We have. I mean, I skimmed it. It was long.
Well, let's not skim it. Let's read the whole thing and talk about it next week because it's really good.
I mean, I enjoyed it. The art was really cool.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, hey, Dad,
so
this is our 50th episode.
Woohoo!
We've been doing this for a year and a half now, almost 2 years.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
If you listen to the end of this and you listen all the way, if you share our podcast on any streaming service and let me know, I am having pins made of our logo.
You are not!
And I will have, they're not enamel pins, so they may be cheap. Who knows? But if you let us know, I'll send you one.
Oh, that makes my heart so happy.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Hannah.
Yay.
End roll. 50.
Woo! Friends, thanks for hanging out with us. Man, countrymen, we love that.
That was Julius Caesar.
Was it?
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do live long after them, so let it be with Caesar. Anyway.
Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Hey, our art, which if you share, you can have to wear on your clothing, was created by Nate Turner. Hey, thanks for doing that for us, bud. He made that in Microsoft Paint. The talent is phenomenal. Our intro music was composed and performed by Brockwell Nason. You can check him out on Apple Music and on Spotify, wherever you listen to your music at.
Exactly.
His music is very good. You should check him out. I edit and maintain our podcast and our the audio, and Dad does the YouTube page. He's shaking
on
his
occasion,
head, but he does that. When he does, he does it, and that's a fact, Jack.
I'm about 3 behind.
And hey, we appreciate you. We're glad to be doing this.
Yeah, no kidding. Apparently, if you listen to us on Apple Podcast, you can comment on it.
Oh, so cool. Hey.
Comment if you have a comic book or a movie you want us to review.
That'd be
or
fun.
Read.
We'll do it.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah. I mean, we get hit ups all the time from the HBO execs and the Disney Plus. And
the 6 HBO executives that watch us. They're here for it, man.
All over the world. That's right.
Well, hey, we're glad that you chose to hang out this past hour on our corner of the internet. We're thankful for it. And
until then, we'll catch you
on the flippity
flippity
flop.
flop.
Indeed,
which
you
we
do.
can never end up doing at the same time.
Okay. Bye, sweet
Bye, friends.
friends.